COVID-19 policy regulations. This is the Richland and also the Kennewick exit to Kennewick and to Richland here at the Blue Bridge here in Kennewick, Washington. Now, there's a Manson's mansion area here at the Pasco side. Now, the boat race weekend carries consists of COVID-19 policy regulations services that brings administration office to a extremely halt that carries the COVID-19 policy regulations. Now, the Blue Bridge consists of a boat race weekend debut. And the Richland exit has a half mile west of 240. We have a Columbia Drive exit sign. We got a Columbia Drive exit sign, Port of Kennewick, and we got a Manson's mansion area right behind these trees. But we have the boat race weekend, consists of the COVID-19 policy regulation and services that brings the administration office to the Washington WSP Gov, the Washington State Patrol Gov. Now, they have a accident report, regulation report that you can get online. Now, you can get it online with Katie Randall Burney. Katie Randall Burney works for the Washington State Patrol Office in Kennewick. It consists of accident relation reports, pedestrians, vehicular homicide, DWIs, DUIs, and also anything in possession or out of area with the Washington State Patrol is downloaded. Now, the Richland exit 1.5 mile says 240 west. Now, the Columbia Drive, there's a Columbia Drive second exit Port of Kennewick sign. Now, these are signs you'll see going towards the Blue Bridge. The Congar Lamp Weston debut they have at the hydroplane boat race unlimited carries the consist of the COVID-19 policy regulation and services. The Washington State Patrol has an undercarriage and undercarriage service consists of the COVID-19 policy regulation and services. Now, the Washington State Patrol has a carriage, and this carriage sits at OWNERCIMARON5INC Banquet Party Restaurant Bar Motel. UBI number 602-720-979. We're in the back seat of a state patrol vehicle. We get the VIN number, the first and last of the license plate number, first and last of the VIN numbers, starting from the first and all the way to the last. We got the license plate, and that's Katie Randall Burney, was at Washington State Patrol and Law Lane in Kennewick, Washington. We periodically talk to her from Office Max. Her name is Laurel. Now, Laurel carries a open position over at the Office Max in Kennewick and Canal. And there's a Richland sign, exit 1/2, represent Office Max and their service download for Windows 10, Windows 11, and S mode. S mode means you block anything in children, McAfee, antivirus, which has VPN number, and the VPN number is your Wi-Fi privacy agreement, and also your router, your modem that's connected to your service. And that service they have has the Blue Bridge increment service, and there's a status report. There's a cul-de-sac area, and the Washington State Patrol parks right here in this area. I was in the back of the State Patrol vehicle, and I was always driving from the Ritzville area all the way to Cimarron5INC Banquet Parlor, Restaurant, Bar, Motel, in the back of the seat. Now, the rotor, the modems, the secretary staff, the fax machine, Mr. Andy Miller, Washington State Prosecutor from Bed County Justice Department, the COVID-19 Policy Regulation Services, the Bend County Justice Department's the west and east side of the building that's been expanded to an audit service for business, UBI, residents, whole 9 yards. Go City Hall in Richland, go City Hall in Kennewick to download this information, fill documents and services. A Social Security card, anytime you want your Social Security card, you can go on SOS.gov, Social Security Office, Gov. And you can go in person, and if you don't get any service in person, they're supposed to give you a Social Security card, especially when you're attacked on the sidewalk. Mr. Eric Olson Homes in Kennewick at the 8131 Grand Ridge Social Security Office. We have this exit sign. We have no tickets, no violations, no DWS, DUIs, no liquor homicide, but I was on a crosswalk and I was hit by a Trailblazer, 2004, white on white, by Stephanie Maine Jordan Swanberg. Now, coincidence has it, the Swanberg had a domestic violence with his wife at Benton City, where their residence is at Benton City and Swanberg Services. I have no connections and services. I was ran over at the crosswalk in Broadway and Division in Moses Lake, Washington. And that was the District 13, where Mrs. Dent and the Senate office, Patty Murray, Ms. Cantwell, has an office at. Where we go in there, give them the UBI number, 602-720-979. Social Security office and services and the banks know money was stolen out of my account. Social Security office knows they had access to my credit cards, access to service cards. There's ATM cards, there's debit cards, there's credit cards. You got debit cards, you got credit cards, ATM cards, debit cards, and then you got birth certificate. And you got your first and last name, Department Licensing Department. And Moses Lake and Freda, Mrs. Vasquez, and also the service center on URL recorded Mr. Andy Miller, Washington State Prosecutor. We download information to service because we have the Washington State Patrol. Mrs. Katie Randall Burney does all the information and services centers here. Now this is a remote, and this remote carries a coexist camouflage, infrared, ultra sensors, soundproof, noise proof, and these are attached to the Washington State Patrol vehicles. In the back of the State Patrol vehicle, from all the way from the Adams County, Brisbane area, and recorded information on URL. They have this information center on tax forms, direct deposit to the Social Security office. Your Social Security card has to be reissued to you, especially when you're involved with officers attacking you, taking money out of your possessions. And then you have a judge, a formal judge identifying the whole situation and calling the owners when the State Patrol dropped me off at Cimarron5INC, Banquet Parlor, Restaurant, Bar, Motel, and City Hall for the tax services in the laptop, damaged laptop, the broken laptop, the service, some credit cards, transactions, and debit cards, credit cards, Social Security cards, and checks that haven't been checked, cash. Rotor number, route number, checking account number, savings account number. See, they get access to all that information, and the Washington State Patrol Service has all this information in fact recorded on the information center of being attacked on the sidewalk. Mr. Eric D. Olson, designated broker. at Othello and Kennewick at the Olsen Homes at the Social Security office has all this information, American title. The title consists of a service center applying to COVID-19 policy regulation service that deals with direct deposits, EFT transaction, tax forms. Bueller's Funeral Home here, Kennewick, and Bruce Lee Memorial here in Pasco. We try to underside. Carries a COVID-19 policy regulation service, deals with the society of, think of it as a society of stealing information, erasing information, taking money and funds out of the accounts of service, which UBI numbers next to a business number. The roof, the material, the concrete, the rebar, the pouring, the paint, the rooms, exterior paint, shingles, the roof material, the roof gun, and also the air compressor, the Sequoia, the Tundra, White Tundra 2004, Sequoia 2014, 15, $80,000 direct deposit. Also the service center applied to Samurai 5. UBI number 602-720-979. See, Samurai 5 is Monterey, Florida. And also Samurai 5 is Othello, Washington. Now all American people entitled to Social Security office and URL. Natural Cascade, Propane, Abyss Utilities, Venue and Franklin Beauty, and Richland. Mr. Ryan Litzkin and Norman Rodriguez and Andy Miller. Now this information is downloaded. You get a visual of implements to your society. Now this society is crooked, so this society is so crooked, eroded. You got an individual about to state patrol vehicle requesting for a Social Security card and not getting it, and not receiving it. You know the post office is full of thieves, conniving fools. What is this ownership and service applying to COVID-19? City Hall Administration Ordinance recording all this information, Mr. Eric Olson himself. Breaking entry, breaking locks off, breaking into people's services, offloading their services, taking off with their merchandise. The whole life savings applied to COVID-19. Now this service center they got here at the Washington State Patrol, Mrs. Katie Randall Burney, has this area in detained area Microsoft Windows 10, 11. Laurel is her name at the Office Max. She's a total hardcore technician at preserving information that belongs to Google, to Microsoft, to the owner of the laptop at Andy Miller's office and in the State Patrol vehicle, and the phone services and the location services of your Chromebook, your Apple, your S-Mode, your McFay protection, your activation, your service for Microsoft for family. And that's $100, $110. And then McFay, another life safe McFay, all devices, all laptops, and service applying to COVID-19. Now, the Port of Columbia Park has this exhibit order. This information center that carries a COVID-19 policy, regulation, and service here on the Pasco side, which is Sylvester Street and exit 1/4 mile. Which is Sylvester Street, exit 1/4 mile. And all this increment of services of the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and services. Here across the street, go figure, the Washington State Patrol has this project they got. since Felix Barela can walk across the Blue Bridge to the Social Security office to get a new check issued out. That new check is issued out by a representative of services, disclosure and tax forms, secretary and staff, service centers implying the COVID-19 EFT transactions, Mr. Aaron Miller, West State Prosecutor's Office, Administration Office, the COVID-19 Policy Regulation Service Center, dealing with the increments of society of the service center implying the COVID-19. And in the Washington State Patrol, that's involved recording devices, moving all the material and supplies. Cimarron 5 has roof material. You got tie vac, you got lumber, you got flooring, you got propane lines from Natural Cascade propane line, Vista Chili's, Vet PD, Franklin PD, and then you got Richland PD. The service they have, administration office, and that is Moore Manson's estate. Now, Moore Manson's estate and center service that applied to COVID-19 policy regulation services. Administration office of this COVID-19 policy regulations and services walkway. As you can see, it says 45 miles an hour. 45 mile an hour for each exit entrance and curve. Line. We got birth certificate, living arrangement services line on this side, the first and last name and the date of birth, location, and also the service center and direct deposit. A simple Social Security card needs to be issued to this person. Of all these obligated services, showing up at Giza, credit union, where the Social Security office used to be at one time. Gage, a Christian community, babysitting facility, Gage, and then 8131 Klamath Cincinnati Grand Ridge, which is Social Security office. 3 locations. Now, requesting for a Social Security card, and then when it's issued, if somebody steals it from the post office, and nobody discloses that information, you know that person's a victim, and they make things up and consist with COVID-19 policy regulations, and it goes into a mailbox with the mail and key and service that's been paid for. Go to Giza and go to credit, go to the Social Security office that same day, disclosing that information for a brand new Social Security card. And then disclosing it won't tell them to show. You gotta have this important information for the intel person. For Katie, Bernie, Randall. Katie, Randall, Bernie from Washington. And Kel Washington. State Patrol are material witnesses because they got the video camera and the video services of the COVID-19 policy regulation and services applying the administration office.